Recording. Hiya, welcome to my Compound Life. I'm your host, Jonathan. My Compound Life, this is where we build assets, build habits, and build real freedom. Okay, so before we get started with today, it'd be really good if you can just hit the like, hit subscribe, become my 10th subscriber, right? Maybe in the comment section, just leave 10th, right? So that I actually know who's subscribing to my channel. Okay, so welcome. It's good to see you. Before we jump in, here's exactly what we're covering in today's few short minutes video, right? Number one, why the 4-year cycle, the Bitcoin cycle in specific, is officially dead, and why the people who only believes in the 4-year cycle already sold and left. Okay, number two, right? Why the US dollar is drunk again right now, right? Drunk. I'll come to explaining my definition of drunk, right? UK budget, Europe, ECB moves, and so forth, right? It's important that we actually pay some attention on to item two. Okay, item three. My exact plan for the small Bitcoin swing back. What exactly am I going to do, right? When do I start selling? How I'll be using pound cost average to come out from it. My little Bitcoin swing back, and why I'm not here to spread hopium, right? So I think there are a lot of influencers out there that are spreading a lot of hopium, but I just want all of you guys to be mindful of what's going on and just be cautious, right? So let's go. First off, the 4 years halving cycle is over. It's done, right? Let's just move on from there, right? The folks who swore by it sold at around 100,000 to about 80,000, right? So these are individuals that saw Bitcoin at 126,000. They are kind of screaming, this is the end of the 4-year cycle. This is the peak of the 4-year cycle at 126. And when Bitcoin starts to drop to 110, 190, and so forth, they already sold, right? And the fact that they bugger off, which is quite important that you guys recognize that there will be less of that liquidity because it's stashed up in somewhere in their hardware wallet now, right? The fact that these individual believes in the Bitcoin 4-year cycle so much, they're not going to suddenly be buying Bitcoin again, right? In their mind that that only recognize the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, the next time that they'll accumulate will be sometime next year in November, right? So this big liquidity, right, will not be coming back into Bitcoin anytime soon. Even if it does, it's not going to be the full bag, right? It's probably a very minimal of that bag coming back into Bitcoin. Okay. However, what I want you guys to recognize is we're now in a global business cycle driven by central banks and liquidity, right? So not halving. So in this specific video, I'm not going to talk about the 4-year cycle, 4 years Bitcoin halving anymore. I'm purely just talking about central banks and liquidity. And because what you're about to hear will probably be important for you to recognize what you should be doing in the next couple of months. Okay. And secondly, the dollar is absolutely hammered right now, right? It's sitting below 99.5, its weakest since spring, right? Why? The two things happened this week or the past couple of days, right? Number one, UK Chancellor Rachel Reeves. So UK Chancellor, it's a little bit like the UK CFO. Take for instance, she dropped her budget where she raised taxes approximately £26 billion, but showed discipline. And the market loves it, right? So that's why the market have some confidence with Rachel Reeves' budget, and the pound, the GBP, the Great British Pound, jump to $1.32, right? So essentially what that means, pound just gotten stronger, okay? And secondly, the Europe's ECB said inflation is cooling fast and they're ready for more cuts in 2026, right? So a little bit like we always anticipate US Fed Jerome Powell to reduce rate. The Europe's ECB, are also stating the obvious that inflations are cooling off and they will be doing more cuts in 2026, right? So Euro looks stable while the US is still fighting over its own budget mess, waiting for inflation and so forth, right? As a result, because Euro made the first move, Euro and pound flexing, and that's why Euros and pound suddenly, became stronger, right? So within these few days, I think why you are seeing the Bitcoin, price gone up a little bit, essentially kind of like the classic, right? Dollar weakens because obviously pound euros gotten stronger. That's why Bitcoin reliefs rally have a little tiny rally, right? But I kind of see this as kind of like a whole new Bitcoin relief rally setup that's coming in our way, right? So my plan, because I keep it real for you guys, I've got a small swing back that I've been riding, right? So apart from my hodl bag, I've got a swing back that I simply buy low, sell high. I haven't fully gotten out my swing back from this 4-year cycle, right? Because I kind of anticipate that, yes, we will have a good ride onto the 4-year cycle, and very likely, at 126, we may go higher, right? Because I saw that liquidity hasn't been pumped into the system, right? So this is where I haven't fully exit everything, right? So starting at 95,000 USD, I begin pound cost average selling bell curve style, right? So we are around 90,000 USD for Bitcoin now. 95, I will start pound cost average out. Small amount at first, ramp up if we get rate cut and QE hints, taper off later, right? So it's all down to rate cut, quantitative easing, and followed by money printing, right? All of these boxes need to tick, right? Otherwise, I'm not essentially. Otherwise, I'll just focus sell more, as opposed to keep my swing back for a longer period of time to let it ride higher. Okay. Of course, Bitcoin is still my growth rocket to accelerate paying down my mortgage, paying down whatever loans I have. But this relief rally is where I take profit. Okay, not chase hopium to the moon, right? I think there's a lot of influencers. Tom Lee still thinks that Bitcoin in the next run may get to about 200,000. I just want all of us to be realistic of what the hell is going on, right? So here's my short-term outlook, right? This weekend, Thanksgiving, hangover, low volume, choppy 90 to 95,000 movement, right? So we can definitely see that yesterday, today, Bitcoin has been retracing between 92 to 90, 94, I think, right? But watch that CME gap from 2 weeks ago, right? Because Friday closed at around 104, Sunday opened at around 110, right? So price loves feeling these gaps. So we might poke in at around 104 and 105,000 USD on the way up. And that's totally normal, right? But certainly, I think we still anticipate more downside because it does feel that we are heading towards the bear market. And at the same time, until we have full and clear picture, I think in the next 10 days or so, rate cut, QE, and what's the third one? Money printing, right? Unless we've got full confirmation on this, I don't anticipate we go any more higher. Job reports will be compiled on the 6th of December, and probably we anticipate it to be soft, right? So 95 to 100,000 bounce is realistic, right, for Bitcoin. After that, they probably won't have any more fireworks until next year, right? So no hopium here for us just yet. Just a solid relief rally to exit the swing back and compound the wins. For me, it's to pay off my other assets and at the same time pivot a little bit onto AI, because somehow I still think AI stocks would have more room to grow, right? So if you're with me on the disciplined exit plan, right, drop 95K start in the comments so that I know the real compound family is here, right? So if you're also thinking of exiting 95K, just let me know, right? Apart from that, I think that's what I want to talk about. I think it's that the pound, the euros are getting stronger, and the fact that USD are getting weaker, so that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. So USD, every time when we see USD kind of drops, we do anticipate Bitcoin price to shoot up, because everywhere, will have more liquidity that pours into the USD, because USD becomes cheaper to buy, and then people would think, Bitcoin, it's on sale, so that's why they're buying. Okay. I think let me highlight a little bit of, there are two occasions when US dollars actually weaken, and then we immediately see something happen onto the Bitcoin price, right? So every time the US dollar gets hammered and face plants on the couch, Bitcoin strolls in, right? It flips on the light, and then we can, definitely see something spark with Bitcoin, right? So take, for instance, back in late 2023, right? Dollars started stumbling in October around 106 on Dixie DXY. Bitcoin was around 27,000, and over the next 3 to 5 months, right? So after Dixie dropped, it ground up to about 73,000 by March 2024. Okay, so of course it's no parabolic move, no straight line, just a consistent 10 to 15% monthly bites, for the Bitcoin to grow up. The second time that we saw was sometime in mid 2024. Okay, again, dollar got wobbly again in late July, dipping under 104. Bitcoin was at around $53,000 to $54,000 post-halving cooldown, right? So another 4 months to early December, hitting 109,000, right? So these are time where we specifically saw quite a good, growth or gain for Bitcoin. And I just want to let you guys know way beforehand, right? Because obviously Dixie dollars, it's dropping now. And if history, does plays out again in the coming few months, we might see a relief rally. Okay, so that's why it's quite important for us to recognize that and to position ourselves. If you want to buy, this would at any time whenever there's a drop, it might be good to pound cost average in. If you are looking to get out from your position, I think in a few months' time also, right, that would be the right timing to get out. That would be like the relief rally to get out, so that you don't have to hollow your swing back throughout the bear market, right? Because I do anticipate bear markets to come in next year. Okay, so that's it. What I want to share. Thanks for watching my Compound Live, and drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Have a good weekend.